How old do you think she was in the movie?
Sweetheart, she's 6 years older than you.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 1 year older than you. 6 months older than you is what I meant to say.
No, she's not.
She was born January of 76. No, she's 2 years older.
Yeah.
A year and a half older than you.
Yeah, like Travis is way older than me.
I'm not way older than you.
Wait.
I still call you my baby brother. She's older than Travis.
No, she's a year and a half older than I am, so she's 2.5 years older than you. She was born January of 76. She was a voice in Bolt? Pleasantville? Who the hell was she in Pleasantville?
Who was she in Pleasantville?
I have no idea.
All right, welcome back to Flicks and Dicks. Thanks for joining us again. If you are a previous listener, if you're a new listener, welcome to the show. I'm Travis.
Mike.
I'm Lisa.
And this week we're going to be doing The Wizard, 1989, starring Fred Savage, Beau Bridges, and Christian Slater's in this one too.
Yes, he is.
And of course, Jenny Lewis, who didn't do much past this movie and Troop Beverly Hills. She was in Troop Beverly Hills.
My big question was, why was Christian Slater in the movie?
Oh, that was absolutely my biggest question.
Why not? It was 89. He was still a kid.
No, this was basically, let's take a star, let's throw him in, it's going to make more for the movie. But it was pointless. It was pointless for him to be in there.
The movies he'd done around the time were comparable, to this. This is a family-friendly movie. It seems like a normal progression for the star at that time. I don't even know if he'd done Prince of Thieves yet.
Like, I don't even know why wasn't Molly Ringwald in here. I mean, it was so pointless to have him in here.
Molly Ringwald was a good one. So let's run down the synopsis of this story. According to IMDb, a boy and his brother run away from home and hitch across the country with the help of a girl. They meet to compete in the Ultimate Video Game Championship, brought to you by Nintendo. And we're gonna totally get into the whole Nintendo aspect of this, but you know what? We've talked about this before. I don't mind Nintendo being this at all. It's just a backdrop. It's fine.
See, that's all it was a backdrop. Lisa, feel free to chime in here.
Well, to me, it was a giant Nintendo commercial, and you call it a backdrop. It was. Do you know how much sales boomed after this? I mean, it was like, we are promoting this game.
Not only sales booms, but like targeted marketing. I mean, from what I saw on the internet, the Nintendo Power episodes or periodicals were being handed out.
Yeah.
During the premiere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it a huge sales point, propaganda, whatever, for Nintendo? Well, of course it was, but it's no different than, any other movie that you've ever seen where, they're taking a swill off their beer or their soda, and without fail, every single time that can was placed perfectly in front of the camera.
Product placement, and this was what I was thinking. I've seen this movie a million times, and I still love this movie. But this is what I was thinking throughout the whole movie. As a kid, at that time, whenever I went into somebody's house, I saw a Nintendo console, and you know what else I saw? I saw a Sony Hi-Fi. I saw a RCA television set. I mean,
Hi-Fi.
Hi-Fi. I saw a stereo system of some kind. Nintendo was just another piece of electronic equipment in the house.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's what this movie is about. A couple of people who all happen to play Nintendo and one who's good at video games. What else
let's back this up. Travis,
Atari?
how old were you when this movie came out?
When I came out, I think I was 12. I saw
you were 13.
12 or 13,
yeah.
right. And I saw this with my really good friend at the time, just growing up. We both saw it in the theater. And we absolutely were pumped. We were charged. We were so excited for this movie.
Yeah, I was 11, and when I watched this, to rewatch it, to do the podcast, I was watching it with my 11-year-old, and he was so into it. I mean, it was definitely geared at the right market, and it was perfection. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it then. I thoroughly enjoy it now.
All right, let's go ahead and run through these cast of characters. We're going to kind of go over the actor and the character at the same time. What do we think of the actor and what do we thought of the character? So we're just going to go ahead and run through them here real quick. First of all, we got Jimmy Woods as the Wizard. He's of course the little boy. And what'd you think of his performance?
I thought it was perfect. I thought it was absolutely perfect.
I have mentioned on this podcast before, children actors suck. We talked about this in the Firestarter episode. Children actors suck. And he did a great job.
He did a great job in his silent role.
It wasn't so much a silent role. I mean, I don't know if he was like really autistic in real life, but it was, he nailed it completely. He didn't try to overact. He didn't try to be the star of the movie. It was just this kid. It was perfect to me.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I think if it wasn't acting, he took direction really well, and we had talked about that with Drew Barrymore and Firestarter as well.
Most definitely,
she took good direction, and this actor really did. Luke Edwards took very good direction. California. But even the way he responded while he was playing video games, his little twitchy behavior, I thought was completely appropriate. He didn't draw attention to himself on any of the shots either. It was good.
No, he did just fine. He did just fine.
All right, so let's talk about. Well, let's go ahead and get to Beau Bridges, the father.
Okay, Beau Bridges makes his way into, or has made his way into, so many movies, television shows, shit that, it's like, why is he doing this? Clearly the dude has fun.
He does have fun. He looked like he was
fun.
a blast on this movie.
But I don't know if anybody else picked up on this. Did you notice that when they were running everywhere, there was no sweating of any kind? The only person that was sweating in the entire movie was Beau Bridges. Not during, the running through the desert scenes or, anything of the kind. He was sweating profusely eating donuts.
He doesn't look healthy. No, I can't think of a movie Beau Bridges where he does look healthy, but whatever. What was he in Sidekicks too?
Oh God, he was.
Yeah, he's in Sidekicks. He played the father, practically the exact same.
Okay,
not the exact same role.
They showed after everybody was they at the end of the movie, not going to jump ahead get into it too much, but the end of the movie when everybody is pulling over and they're getting out and they're running over to the dinosaurs. Still, no one is sweating. Not even Beau Bridges.
That really bothers you, right?
It really did bother me. I understand, you're running through the desert, you're going to sweat. But was he sweating at those moments? No. The only time anyone in this movie was sweating
with a jammy food in their face?
Beau Bridges shoveling donuts.
See, and those are not the moments that I remembered of Beau Bridges in this movie. I mean, number one, thank you for driving around with a tree in the back of your truck, because it was really unclear to us that you own a landscaping business.
Yeah, let's telegraph more.
Let's drive with a tree in the back of our truck.
Let's write it on your hat. Let's put it on the side of your truck, and let's make sure there's a lawnmower and a tree in the back of that truck.
Let's define his character as much as we can.
I was really focusing on that tree in the back of the truck, and then I noticed how much he was sweating eating that donut. And I totally forgot about the tree and the lawnmower in the back.
Well, as long as we're talking about Beau Bridges, let's go ahead and get into Christian Slater. All right?
Yeah.
Lisa, you had already mentioned this is like a random role for him.
It is a random role. And he felt like he was holding back, like he couldn't be his true, sarcastic self. And none of the people in the family even looked like they belonged in the family. And he really did not look like...
He didn't look like anything at all like Beau Bridges or Fred Savage.
My biggest question was, how many marriages did the father actually have? Because none of the kids looked alike.
It's a big question mark for me, too. What exactly is the family situation on this? We know that Beau Bridges and the mother... The
mother of Jimmy.
Yes, the mother of Jimmy were married at one time, because we see that in the picture at the end. So they're married.
That was also shown in the beginning as well.
But why is Jimmy Fred Savage's half brother?
That was the sister, Jimmy's twin sister.
Twin sister, okay.
He said that she never treated them as if they were just brought in or added on. She treated them as family.
Like, I probably spent the good probably 20 minutes into the movie trying to really wrap my brain around who belonged where, and I'm we're so used to mixed families these days where this should be a no-brainer, but I can't even imagine back in 1989 how we're trying to wrap our brains around how this whole family is put together.
I was not clear at all.
The movie was geared towards kids. Parents kind of sort of, they were an afterthought only because parents have...
It still has to make sense.
Parents have the pocketbook. It was not geared, towards, analytical thinking. Did anyone look like they were truly related? No.
Not a bit.
No.
Not at all.
But again, it was
supposed to be
a huge
competent
promo for
filmmaking,
Nintendo.
which it was. It was competent filmmaking, it was competent editing, and it was competent direction. All of it was competent.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Except
Completely,
for the casting director. I think the casting director probably, the casting director was either, okay, I'm going to try to get people together that look similar, and then the producers and Nintendo stepped in and said, no, we need bigger names.
Exactly. That's
need bigger
exactly right. We need big names. We need Fred Savage, we need Christian Slater,
I'm
Bo
really
Bridges. These are
sorry
all
that you
just
put all
names.
this time and thought into finding people that look even remotely similar to one another. But yeah, you're axed, and now we just need big names for the time.
Okay, so let's get back to Christian Slater. Who do you think would have been a better role at that time? Who would have been a better name to bring in at that time?
Oh, who was doing stuff at that time?
At that time, all I was thinking was Nintendo. So
So it really didn't matter who on
It
earth
could
you
have
put
been
in there.
anyone.
I
That brother
don't.
could
I
have been
don't
in
think
any
that
one
the
role.
cast amounted to a hill of beans for the kids that were watching the movie. Nintendo was still fairly new. It was granted, Nintendo came out in Japan
83 and then
America
85.
The
Yeah.
star in this movie is Nintendo, and the stars wanting to get in on this were banking on that. They're banking on that kind of exposure because it was
Most
supposed to be
definitely.
huge, and it was huge.
Let's
This
just
movie-
back this up. How much did Nintendo game system cost back then? It was
Oh.
$300.
It was
I
no, it
just-
wasn't
I-
$300.
no.
It was-
$100.
no,
$100.
it was-
I looked this up. Upon release, the deluxe set was released
What
for
the deluxe set have?
$299.
The deluxe set would have the duck hunt gun,
Super Mario Brothers
Super Mario Brothers,
and the gun.
And the gun.
that was it.
Yeah. But you have these...
I don't remember asking for
It
more
had
for
two
$300.
controllers. It had two controllers. My parents bought it.
I wanted the basic deck set, which I guess was $80 or $100 or something like that. $150.
Yeah, but
That's right, it was
how much did
$150.
our video camera cost? I mean, when they made purchases, it was totally unreasonable. It was big, but we definitely got our use out of it. That's for sure.
Did you purchase the Nintendo the year that it was released?
No,
Oh,
no way.
no.
No,
Okay.
it was way after. And
That's
I was
why-
relentlessly
that's why
begging
you
for
got-
And
it.
I'm still baffled as to how on earth we received a Nintendo. Like,
That's how you were
We
able to
got
get it
we
for
got the full
$100.
set too. We got the power pad set.
we got the
Thank you
power
very
pad.
much.
Yeah, we did.
Oh no! See that was $35. I remember because I busted my ass to make that money to purchase that, but that was my money that purchased.
Buckle up, folks.
that.
We're going to be talking about these peripherals because the Power Glove
What was-
is front and center in this movie.
It was
It's
called
like-
the Advantage Pad. It had the big joystick with the oversized buttons. It was $35.
Yeah, my buddy had that too.
But
All right, who else? Who
So
else do we have in this
we
movie?
have we haven't even talked about specifically Fred Savage yet. All right, so Fred Savage's character and Fred Savage's performance.
Fred Savage played himself, in my opinion, for this movie.
Fred Savage always plays himself.
When
Or
Fred,
did he play?
I-
did he play Wonder Years boy? What's his name?
Oh, they're one and the same.
Oh my God.
They
They're
were
they're,
one and the
they're
same.
one and the same.
Yeah.
Winnie and Kevin Arnold. Kevin
Arnold,
Arnold.
there you go.
Right, in
Thank
the
you.
Wonder Years. So was he just playing Kevin Arnold? He's
No.
a child actor. I mean,
he was playing himself, and I can actually speak to this. A classmate of mine in 6th grade, I believe it was, somewhere between, I think it was 5th or 6th grade, a classmate of mine didn't play, he was his stunt double in Little Monsters.
No kidding.
And,
I love it. Did he meet Fred Savage?
Oh yeah, and he said he was quoting, the 6th grade terminology here. He was a complete jerk.
What?
He had people waiting on him hand and foot. If his bottled water wasn't the correct temperature, he literally threw it back at the assistant that
I
was helping
just
out
saw
with this.
an E! Entertainment on Fred Savage at the time, like around 89, 90, and he actually mentioned that his parents kept him in check when his head was getting too big. He actually said that.
He would throw fits on sets all the time. I don't know if you remember the movie Little Monsters. There's a scene
I
where
do,
Fred
absolutely.
Savage rolls down the stairs. That was my friend.
Nice. Nice.
He ended up fracturing his forearm, and when he fell down the stairs, because it was my buddy rolling down those stairs, he fractured his forearm. he had bruises all over his body. It looked like somebody took a baseball bat to this kid.
Well, thank goodness
Yes,
it wasn't Fred
that's
Savage
right,
because he was able to
But
be in this movie.
he came back after having done this, and he could not stop going on about how big of a jerk Fred Savage was on the set to the people.
But
that
he's a
Now, was
cute-
it just
he's a
because he
cute
got
little
hurt and Fred didn't?
Yeah,
or
then
was
he's-
Fred actually
little
in
sour
the
grapes
ass?
there.
No. This kid came back, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name, but he came back after having shot Little Monsters, as the stunt double for Fred Savage. He had pictures with all the stars on the set, with the directors. He had pictures with the stunt coordinators. I mean, he had the time of his life.
Okay,
Nice.
So he
Love
was
it.
super excited, but could not stop going on about how big of a jerk Fred Savage
Now,
was.
as much as I have a huge disdain for Fred Savage, and that's fine, I actually liked him better in this movie than any other role that he played.
I
Because he
completely agree.
wasn't
I agree.
whiny. And
I
that
agree.
was the first time that he wasn't just this whiny little
Are
kid.
we talking movies, or is I talking on the Wonder Years? Because he was pretty damn whiny in the
He
Wonder
was
Years.
super whiny in the Wonder Years, but in this movie, The Wizard, he was not whiny. I mean, he was able to travel from state to state to state, get robbed and everything, and I mean, everything went wrong, but everything went right, and he wasn't a whiny character.
He really did assess the situation, determine what was the best course of action, and went with it, for better, for worse. I mean, yes, he was showed great leadership there.
No one in this movie assessed any
No,
situation
they didn't
other
assess.
than getting to the gaming convention, Game Armageddon or whatever it was
Right.
called.
Oh, you're
Streetwise-
kidnapped. Oh man,
Oh, okay.
now we're not gonna be able to play the game. The dad, when our truck's ready, but I'm playing the game. Yes,
We're gonna get into that whole
my
truck thing.
gosh.
Oh man, come
All
on.
right.
This last person here, Jenny Lewis. Jenny Lewis playing
Lewis.
Haley, the girl.
I don't think the movie would be the movie without her. I think she
Okay.
was
I completely
perfection
agree.
in the movie.
When I was a little kid, all right, granted many years ago, when I was a little kid,
We all did, Mike.
Was it the legs
like going with this.
or the boobies?
Yeah, this
now-
movie.
now
You
It
got to
sounds
take
to be
yourself
like
back to your
dirty old
13.
man.
Gross.
So Travis was 13, Mike was 12, I was 11 when
She
this
was
movie
our
came out.
demographic. We were
She
her
was.
demographic. I mean, yeah.
She was cute.
Of course she was cute. All the blogs, on the blogs all along, they all say the same thing. It's like, I had a huge crush on Jenny Lewis.
And
so,
now she just looks rough.
what? She looks the same
Yikes.
age as her. You know what? I don't look like a spring chicken either. So
I don't look like a spring chicken, but dude, I'm a sexy mofo. I'm hot.
She's 39, probably 40. But she's got a band, and I forget what the name of it is now. I'll pull it up later.
Not a
but,
clue.
No, she's definitely got a band, and she's rocking it. In fact, I watched a music video last night. She was doing a music video. I forget the name of it, but she was with the girl, Princess Diaries girl.
And
And not Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway and Kristen Stewart from that insufferable
stupid
Twilight?
vampire show.
Yes,
Vampire
Twilight.
show.
That
Twilight,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they were both in there just doing very, very strange things. Guys, everyone out there, you got to check this out. It's the most bizarre things that I'm watching Anne Hathaway on a keyboard and doing God knows what, but it's a very strange video. I'm like, what were you doing? Why were you in this video?
If anyone is ever going to listen to this, do you know how much flack we're going to get for you referring to the Twilight series
Kristen Stewart?
as not Kristen Stewart per se.
Oh, that
Let's not-
insufferable vampire movie?
the insufferable, and I just flat out said stupid.
If we have any listeners at all, if we have any listeners who completely disagree with me, I think Twilight is just better than Peach Cobbler. Please leave us an email at flicksanddicks@gmail.com. Now let us know your opinion on that. All right, so
here's my biggest question is, okay, so all of these people, maybe not the kiddo who was the wizard, but
the wizard.
But why did she not go on to be the next child star? She was great in this. I mean, what she did, Pleasantville.
Thought her performance was the best, and I still can't place her in Pleasantville.
Right. Why was she not the next big thing, the tween into teen heartthrob after this movie? That's what I can't understand at all.
She had a really good punch to her acting and her character, and you're right. I have no idea why she didn't really go on to do it. I don't think she really gave a crap about acting. Like, she did it a couple times. It wasn't for her. That's why she went into music.
But she did it really, really well.
She takes herself pretty damn seriously.
Maybe she was a pain in the ass on the set.
She was,
I didn't see that.
she was a voice actor on Bolt.
There's one last person, and he's certainly not a principal, but everyone talks about him, and this is Lucas, Power Glove guy, played by Jackie Vincent. And the reason why probably not too many people talk about him, he was actually convicted of for child molestation crimes. He did some time.
Wow,
But,
way to bring it down.
Whoa.
See, here I was thinking, man, he had the hair that everybody wanted, and I swear
he was wearing vision clothes, and he was decked
a
out.
his
looking
whole
kid.
posse was what I mean, when I went into middle school right after this, they were dressing like him. Their hair was like him. He was what everybody wanted to be.
Yeah, he was a good-looking kid. He dressed well, and he had the Power Glove.
It's so bad.
He had the Power Glove.
The Power Glove is so bad.
It's so bad. It's bad.
That
You
delivery.
talk about a flawed piece of equipment. That was the biggest.
I
was
the
really
biggest
want to make
letdown.
sure
Such a
that we hit this well on this Power Glove bullshit. All right, but hey, one last thing to mention about people appearing in this film. What's the Spider-Man guy? What's his name?
Which one?
The first one. Not the first one, but I mean.
Oh, crap.
Yeah,
So-
you know who I'm talking about?
Gosh, I really don't want to say the same thing.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
See, I had to mouth
Yes.
it. I'm like, please don't let me say the wrong thing. No,
Yeah, you don't want to
it's
say
good.
the wrong thing on our Flicks and Dicks podcast, Lisa.
Well, I am not one of the dicks. I am one of the chicks on Flicks and Dicks. So
Tobey Maguire is
gotta
part of
speak back.
Lucas. Tobey Maguire is part of Lucas's posse.
Oh.
Was he really?
Front and center as
No
they're walking
way.
out of the video Armageddon, and Lucas says to his boss, he's like, "Go get me a cold drink or something." He's talking to Tobey Maguire on the very end.
Does he
he's
speak?
right there. No, he doesn't say shit.
No. The one he told to go get him a cold drink was a little husky kid.
Tobey
The
Maguire
blonde
is
kid.
in the screen. You can pull it up. He's on the screen all the way to the left, rocking a kick-ass mullet. It's an amazing mullet.
See,
but
the
he's
whole
right
time
there.
I am trying to look at the side actors saying, okay, is this going to be somebody who was the next big thing, but they just didn't speak in this? So I'm looking at all the extras in the film, but no, I missed that.
Did not catch that.
Why would
man.
you? I mean, it's just like this. He's part of the Lucas Goon posse, which, guys, did you ever know anyone who had a posse that would just take orders from somebody barking at him? Go get me a cold drink.
No.
Yes.
You kidding me?
Really?
Did we not attend middle school? I mean, come
You
on.
you actually had a bully, the school bully, telling somebody, "Go get me a cold drink or something," and they were okay
Okay,
with that?
we had the bullies. You had your cliques and whatnot, but in each and every one of those cliques, and there were quite a few. I went to several different middle schools. There's not one where anyone would have taken orders from someone like that.
Just like that.
It would have been a full on fuck you. You said what?
Well, or they'd be like, "I'm gonna go to get a cold drink. Who wants to follow me? I want to follow you. Please, can I follow you?" They've
Okay.
never said, "Go get me a cold drink."
There were the hot girls that the other girls followed, and that the boys followed on their coattails in turn, but not one of them would anyone have ever said okay.
Well, Lucas
Okay,
Lucas
so-
didn't have any parents,
okay,
so,
so
maybe
did
that's what.
you-
Clearly, he didn't have parents.
So he kind of, in his role, he kind of split between where you wanted to like him, but then you wanted to hate him, but then you
Huh?
wanted to like him, then you wanted to hate him.
Lucas, really?
Yeah, really.
There was like one moment
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, he might have some redeeming qualities.
What was this? What was this?
Okay, so like when he tells the dad where you can find him, that was him, speaking up and.
Whoa! I read that.
No,
scene
that was
as,
him
like,
sabotaging
because
the
I don't
kid.
want to compete against him.
Exactly, that was him trying to
Absolutely.
sabotage the other kid. That
But
wasn't him
Lucas never
caring
did see
for.
Jimmy in action.
He never was a straight up ass. Like you saw the back and forth where he was toying with, am I going to be a jerk? Am I going to be nice? I'm going to be a jerk. Am I going to be nice?
This is an
Oh,
actor
but wait,
decision,
hang
right?
on. You said he never saw him in action.
Lucas
Right?
never saw Jimmy in
Right?
action.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
except for the end.
So, a little bit later on, it was referred to as one loss. One loss. Jimmy versus Lucas. Fred Savage referred to that moment as one loss.
Yeah, which he didn't even really lose. He didn't play him.
Because you didn't play him.
He didn't play
Jimmy
him,
walked out.
Right.
Yeah, so all Lucas has before Video Armageddon is hearsay. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start getting into the blow by blow on this movie. We open up on a very, very long intro. Wow, Jimmy's just walking down
It
the
really
street.
was long.
Cool. I mean, I understand we need time to roll credits, but wow, that was a very long sequence, and it's actually set a tone. I'm sitting there going, what movie am I watching? I don't remember the wizard being this. It looks like the opening of
Forrest Gump?
of Forrest Gump. Absolutely, yeah. It looked like the opening of Forrest Gump. I'm sitting there going, wait, what kind of direction are we going here?
Or
Is this
a
a
twisted
drama?
version of Mad Max. I don't know.
So he's just walking along, and the ranger comes and gets him. I'm kind of the first in a lot of series on how people treat Jimmy. Just kind of grabbing him a little bit too hard. It's like, get over here, put your hand here. You know, it's kind of weird.
All throughout the movie, that poor kid was manhandled.
Right.
You guys noticed this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they're just grabbing him a little bit too hard. I'm like, you want to take it easy? This is just a kid, and who obviously poses no threat to you. But they got planes looking for him. They got the cops going out in the middle
that's
of
right.
nowhere.
I forgot about the plane.
The plane, yeah. They bring this up later, and they're sitting there going, we just don't have the resources to go chasing after this kid every time he feels like walking to California.
I guess I just look at the safety features of today versus the safety features of back then. I mean, now you pull in front of the child. You don't like, I hope my brakes work, I'm going to pull right up on you. Or the plane going overhead. Like, I may, swipe off the top of your head. It was just very like,
Do you have rules and regulations
gotcha.
on the ceiling they're supposed to maintain when you're flying over people?
With the plane, when he started rocking back and forth, that was him saying hi to the camera.
Hello, camera, I'm
Hello.
here. I'm flying a plane. So the cop gets him, and at first I think he was grabbing a little bit too hard, but then he kind of gently puts him in the car, and that was nice. They bring him back to the parents and tells the parents are just like, I've had it with this stuff, and
No, the mom, she was quiet. She was at wit's end. She was okay. The look on her face anyway, the body language was, I don't know what else to do. It was the asshole stepdad.
wow.
Who
This guy.
was like, I've got the police department on overtime for this kid, and blah, 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 blah,
Why
blah,
can't I
blah.
get chains for him?
And the mom, I didn't get this then, I don't get this now. When I was a kid,
Who cares, right?
it didn't make two shits. I mean, now it's like, holy crap. The mom just sat there quiet while this asshole stepdad just went on about, how much of an idiot and how special needs her kid is. And he was more worried about money being put into finding this kid and nothing else.
Well, the movie's obviously doing a very good job of saying, look at me, I'm an asshole, yes.
That dude, I don't remember his name, but that dude always plays an asshole.
Does he?
Everything. Look him up. I can't remember the actor's name, but in everything that he's in, he plays a douchebag.
I think he's really kind of a lifetime made-for-TV type of actor. I think I remember looking him up. But
He's forever been typecast as the douchebag.
So when
Guy might be
they're
a sweetheart in real life, I have no idea, but he plays douchebag really well.
so Fred Savage is now introduced to our movie, and he's Christian Slater and Beau Bridges are fighting in the kitchen. So Fred Savage starts throwing darts at a map
Right.
because he wants to run away, and he's really upset about the Jimmy situation.
Yes.
So he throws the 3 darts, and he's like, no, I don't want to go here, I want to go there, and then he hits California. California. Just can't hear that word. over and over
Everybody
again.
wants to
Yeah.
go to
California.
California.
And do
My
what?
wife wants to go to California. Yes.
So that's all right. Jimmy's in a home right now, and so I'm gonna go kidnap him, break him out of his mental institution, and we're
Which
gonna
was
go
effortless.
effortless. Oh, he just
There
walked
was
right in.
no security.
Nope,
okay,
there's nothing
okay,
there.
not just at this facility. There was no security of any kind anywhere.
You have a kid who's prone to just walking out, and your doors are just like, why
That's
the
a good
hell
point.
open? I
There was
mean,
no one monitoring anything throughout this movie. The only place you saw security was in the casino.
no, the only place
Yeah,
anybody
that's-
said, "Where's your mom?" was on the trolley. That was it.
But that's not security.
No, but
Was
it
anyone
was,
else bothered by the fact that Fred Savage is walking through these rooms looking for Jimmy, and there's all these shots of kids drooling on themselves? I was was like sitting there going, is this movie too? This is a video game movie. This is a fun family. Why do we have kids staring at him? I thought I was on the set of what's that Jack Nicholson flick? The Shining. I thought I was on the set of The Shining.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There was that one creepy kid. The one he was sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden he just he could feel Fred Savage's character just staring at him, I guess, and he just stops watching his show, and his head just quickly snaps over and just stares at him. It was like, whoa.
That sounds like a director sitting there going,
whoa.
No, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And I really want to get some lighting on here, and the producer's like, we don't have time for this shit. Move it along. Let's go.
Do you ever have your parents tell you you're one creepy little fucker? Because that's what we're wanting from you right now.
They did get a lot of performances out of the kids in this movie, that's for sure.
I just think there were so many chase scenes in the movie and so many, but the one moment where it's like, this should be hard. This should be hard.
So they jump.
Effortless.
They jump into the Hostess truck. Oh, thanks for that, Hostess. This movie is also brought to you by Hostess because it's on the side of a huge truck.
Okay, how did the guy get the product to deliver the last delivery without going in the back of the truck?
The only reason why you asked this.
The only reason why, because it doesn't make any sense.
Because you are related to two people who used to be milk truck drivers, and we know what those trucks look like on the inside.
Right.
Yeah, there's rails for those bread trays all the way to the back freaking door of those
So
trucks.
how are kids sitting there munching on Twinkies, as is evident later on? But yeah, how does he not know they're there? Obviously,
Not all
I'm sure
of-
they were munching on Hostess.
Now, how the hell did they know where that truck
the-
was going?
Not all of
truck
your
had been going
delivery
to
Right,
Maine
it
for
wouldn't
them.
go
complete morons.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We were aware of our situations. We knew what was in the truck with us. Not all of us were as clueless as they make this poor bastard out to be driving this little Hostess truck. But
The kids are on the road. They're starting to do things. They're
they really did just jump into random ass
just random.
vehicles.
There's actually randomness in the right direction, which is
Okay, now
bizarre.
I've taken a road trip with Travis, and it was a bunch of randomness without a map. We ended up on the side of the road taking a nap. We ended up, arriving
had
at our
a
destination
map.
with no.
We had a map. We knew how to read a fucking map. I
Okay,
mean,
we were raised to read a map, but we just drove like, oh sure, and we were stupid. We were like 14 and 16, just taking some random road trip with no money, no anything. I mean, we've been there, but no, we didn't. We
didn't hitch rides or
rides.
hustle money for bus tickets and all that. Let's get to that because they're in a snack shop or gas station. It's a bus depot, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they're in a bus depot, and he says, "How much to go to California?" And the guy's like, "A couple $100." And this is so funny. I cracked up because Fred Savage is like, "Well, I only have 23 or 25 or whatever." Was he?
It was $27.
Yeah.
I only have $27. Was he expecting you to negotiate or bargain a deal with this guy? You're pretty
that's
far
a regular
off.
kid thing to say, like, but here's the deal. I only have this. Like,
I only have 185.
But he
No,
I've said it before in my
He
adult life. I
copped
don't think it was
attitude
crazy for
with
him to say
the
it.
bus guy. He copped attitude with the poor bastard
Totally.
clerk sitting behind the counter.
Bus guy
Fred
has
Savage.
Clearly.
Bus guy has you over barrel, dude. I would pull back that attitude just a little bit.
He didn't argue with him, mind you. He didn't argue with him, but he turned, pulled out Fred Savage and just was a little dick.
So Haley's sitting in the corner and she's listening to this exchange, and then she comes up to him later and she says, "Oh, what are you two up to?" And so that starts a conversation with Fred Savage. Oh no, right before this, Fred Savage is telling Jimmy to just play this video game while I'm trying to negotiate this awesome deal with the bus driver.
And then he manhandles Jimmy and just like
Yes, he
throws
does. He
his
manhandles him.
hand.
He just puts his hand. Play, dumb shit. I mean, that's what his body language said. It's like play. God, can't you understand English? Play.
This has nothing to do with the actors per se. Maybe editing. I don't know. But it's like in those movies where whenever they show someone hacking into another computer system, you get these just fantastic images of, colors and lights flashing. And anybody who's ever done any type of programming or anything of the kind on a computer, I don't care what generation computer, it's not bright, shiny, colorful.
No, here's where I had a hard time. They're in a bus depot, and it is 1989. Do you really think you're going to have a current game? That was a major problem I had with every single place they stopped in. It was always some current game that was going on. But no, you should have had, like, disco lights going on at this point, but it wasn't.
Now, this is where we can get a lot of trouble because there's tons of YouTube and internet commentaries about the problems and all the mistakes related to the game. So we know there's a lot of...
There's a lot. That's what I was going to get to. He's playing Double Dragon. I remember Double Dragon very well.
I could probably still beat it now.
I played the hell out of that game. Yeah. But they show the monitor. You know, the kid's supposed to be playing Double Dragon, and it's if you ever played the video game, they show a scene where one of the Double Dragon characters that he's playing dies. And yet, little Jimmy is still sitting there mashing away on those buttons. That joystick is still moving. But he died.
So he's
still mashing the hell out of the buttons.
Here's the point about Jimmy playing Double Dragon. Now, Fred Savage comes back and says, "You got 50,000 on Double Dragon?"
Oh my god.
Okay, check this out. There's a couple of things with this. Yes, they couldn't have gotten 50,000 points in 4 minutes. It's impossible. But everyone knows that. And all the video commentators have all said it on the internet. However, after my buddy and I had watched this movie in the theaters, we were just talking about the movie, and he's like, "Why are they making such a big deal about getting 50,000 on Double Dragon? I mean, getting 50,000 on Double Dragon is a piece of cake." So that always stuck with me with this movie, and especially since it was in the preview. That was one of the preview lines. You got 50,000 on Double Dragon? So he's talking about getting that with Haley. He's like, he can wax your tail. And so that starts, I'm going to get some money, I'm going to hustle this. And so that starts the first bet.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing, and this is where I first realized this, is that girls and boys, when Nintendo came out, they played video games. They really, really did.
Do girls play video games?
I played video games with you. I remember Contra and Duck Hunt and all
you weren't any good at it.
Oh, well, fuck you.
No, you have to devote hours to that
From a big brother to a little sister, fine, whatever. Yeah, he waited for me a lot in Contra. That's fine. But this movie really, really promoted the equality of girls and boys playing video games, and I don't know if it was a ploy to get the girls to do it as well, because they're not playing with dollies, they're playing with video games.
Yeah, it was a push to get the girls, more girls, because no, it was primarily boys.
My sister didn't give two shits about playing Nintendo.
Of course she didn't.
But your mama did.
She played
It's a whole fucking different story now.
Yes, my mama did. I came home from school one afternoon, and there's my mom. I didn't know she was having a seizure fit of some kind or what. But
well, because the only way to get it to jump with the controller is to like fling it up over.
You gotta fling your arms up with the controller in hand. And my mom has never been shy about the words that come out of her mouth, but hearing "shit, son of a bitch, god damn it," and you gotta be fucked off, shit, as her arms are flailing.
So this is one of the first thrusts of the movie, is that this is the mechanism that starts. Haley recognizes an opportunity in Jimmy. That Haley wants to go ahead and get money and travel to wherever she's going, and the guys need her as well. So they start hustling people.
It did point out that women have more forethought than men do.
She was the organizer. She was the streetwise. That was another thing in this movie. How could you be streetwise in the middle of Utah?
Because her papa was a trucker. I mean, that is just Utah. That.
Are we just talking? Is that a thing, streetwise? But we're just dealing with the trucker and the motorcycle gang community, because they're in the middle of nowhere. How can you be?
Well, she's not from Utah.
No, the whole
she just
story
so happened to be in Utah.
That's true. Yeah. She said she was from Reno.
Where the empty trailer sat that they apparently lived out of, that looked as though it was just a trailer that had been dumped on the side of the road.
Here's my biggest problem with the movie is, okay, let's go back to how much the system cost back in the day. And you have people who are from little podunk towns and they're living in trailers and everything, but everybody has all these games and the game system and everything.
Well, Lucas has 90 of them.
He had 97.
He's got 97, and he's played them all.
Right, and I had to look this up going, how on earth were 97 games out in 1989.
I'm sure my
but
buddy had 97 video games.
But to me, all there was Contra, Duck Hunt, and Super Mario Bros.
I did look into this. There were 79 games released in 89 alone. So yes, it's entirely possible.
Totally, yeah.
97 video games.
Now, this is an odd exchange from Fred Savage and Haley, is that he's like, we're going to go bet this, $200. And she says, I don't have $200. He says, you have a bus ticket. You can cash it in.
Yeah,
is that a thing you can do that?
He asked her for $6.70.
I don't even question if you can do it or not, because how can kids travel across the state without question?
Wait a minute.
So to me, I was like, yeah, sure you can cash it in.
Wait,
because
cash it in where?
Kids are working
They
in...
were still at the bus depot.
Yeah.
Do they take refunds?
I don't think so.
This is bullshit. This is like two adults negotiating a deal that you're gonna to cash this in on the black market, or you be a scalper for bus tickets. You're gonna stand out front and be a scalper of bus tickets.
It was wackiness back then, Trav. It was just wackiness.
So weird. Yeah. So the first people that they hustle, okay, are these two ugly businessmen. And I love the joke that they play because Fred says, that's pretty good. And they're like, do you think you could do better? You got some skill. And they're like, you think you could do better? No, my brother can. See, and they just laugh this off like this is the most absurd thing they've ever heard.
Okay, was it just me? I felt that Haley could have hustled him better than Fred Savage.
Why didn't she? Why is Fred all of a sudden the talent here, the hustle guy?
Maybe he's higher up in the credits. I don't know, but to me it was like, God, this was such a job for a woman. But no, it was Fred Savage.
Actually, if you did look at the credits, Bo Bridges, Christian Slater, Fred Savage, their names weren't the first. They weren't top on the list.
It was an order of appearance.
Yeah,
it was an order of appearance.
Which was big back then. They're like, we can't really decide who's the big star, so let's just do it in order of appearance. That's how all the movies were.
Well, how else are you going to explain to Fred Savage that his name isn't going to be first on the list?
Right. Oh, we're doing this in alphabetical order.
Well, that's the compromise. Say no, it's an order of appearance.
Bridges' name is going to come ahead of mine.
We'll make the font bigger, but no, it's an order of appearance. So these two ugly businessmen, they're like, go on. There's no way this child could beat me at a child's game. What? Why are they so taken into this scheme? These are two adults that are just fucking around in a video game.
Throughout the movie.
And then you have kids sitting there with nothing better to do that might be better at you.
Also being hardcore gamers and, this is the... Okay, yes, as a kid, I didn't get to go into many arcades, but going by arcades when I was a kid, I did not see... there might have been one or two adults, but no, there weren't, old-ass businessmen, salesmen, I guess as the movie said they were, hammering away on these video games. It was kids.
It was totally kids.
But they were trying to, it was Nintendo trying to say, hey, our games are for everybody.
Let's appeal to adults, let's appeal to girls, and let's make sure we maintain our usual demographic of 12 to 14 years old.
And don't forget the special needs children, because they play video games as well. We've got to include them.
This could be a therapeutic technique in mental institutions. Absolutely. Guys, just look at the possibilities here.
We don't need to get into this, but yes, video games have been found to
You're right,
have
Mike.
therapeutic value.
Let's not get into this because that's bullshit.
That's why there are hospitals that have had doctors playing video games before going into surgery.
Okay, I can see the point.
Yes. Okay, so should they get hustled? It's great. They've got money. Apparently, they don't know how to stuff in their shorts well enough because they keep losing their damn money. The only time they save their money is when he stuffed it in his shorts.
$4.
Yeah, exactly.
$4 freaking dollars. You've got a couple hundred on you now, and you're going to flash all of it around except for the $4.
The $4.
The $4 sacred
Okay, now let me
dollars
just say that when
stuffed in his
Travis and I
shorts.
went on our road trip as teenagers, I think we left with $15. And I think we really made our $15 work for us. So the whole saving $4 was not such a wacky idea.
Are people willing to risk assault on a child for $14? Because it happens twice in the movie. Twice.
Right.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. These guys are like, give me that $14.
They had like a little over 100 when they were
over
when did they have 100?
When they were
because they were on
the cow poke.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know, just flashing her money.
Yeah. But my problem with that is, why, if you've got large bills with you, why are you so concerned about $4 whole that you've got to shove into your shorts? I would have had, the 5s, the 10s, the 20s.
Well, if you have
$134,
hell yeah, you're going to take that $4 off the top. But I'm sorry, but the farming business is kind of a very profitable business.
Yeah.
Why do they need to rob them in the first place? That's the one problem I had a hard time with that. Like they are in the industry. They don't need to rob these kids.
They've got their own truck from as far as I can tell.
They were driving a truck with 6 cows in it, okay? They're the transportation, they're the hired hand.
Have you not been to a restaurant where they're like, oh, it's the finest of the finest, the finest? I'm like, it's a fucking cow. It's a fucking cow.
So they have to start over twice because the cow people go ahead and shake them down, and then the punk ass kids shake him down and steal his hat. So they're
the
going
most believable shakedown scene that I saw was the drive-in where the teenagers are shaking him down.
Are they even evil? I mean, you really, because it's kind of a bully situation, so they're kind of the same age. You may not get in as much trouble.
But the cattle herder farmer people, they to me it was
you
so
give them a ride
random.
and then you're going to go ahead and rob them?
No, it was so bizarre, where the drive-in actually made sense.
They're random ass kids in the middle of freaking nowhere, trusting 2 random ass dudes driving a truck with cows in it.
But they didn't have any ulterior motive. They're just picking them up because they're in the back and they didn't give a fuck about them only until they saw all the money. And then you're sitting there going, well, we just did this nice thing, but let's go ahead and take all their money. This is bizarre.
Yeah, that was the most bizarre scene to me. Completely.
All of this leads up to my favorite scene in the movie.
All right, lay it on me.
My favorite scene in the movie. This is the movie that was in all the trailers, all the previews, and what I actually remember most about this movie growing up. Lucas. Let's talk about Lucas. Let's talk about Lucas's house, his 97 video games, and his power glove.
Was it just me, or did it look like he was hanging out in an abandoned convenience store?
Because they got the front porch thing going on.
That was a front porch?
It was a front porch with the enclosure.
Like
he's got his TV out there.
Abandoned convenience store that these kids had set up shop in.
Oh, I thought that it was like a trailer set up, like with a porch, like.
Well, he hadn't been doing okay. He's wearing some very nice.
He's wearing very nice.
He's wearing
clothes.
absolute latest in teen vision wear.
Right, I remember. I mean, every single outfit those kids are wearing, I remember. Those outfits.
Coveting those outfits because we couldn't afford that, so it's like, oh, I want a Vision shirt because all the other kids are wearing a Vision shirt.
Oh,
the fact that you guys knew the brand names.
Are you kidding me? It said Vision right across his chest.
I'm not one for labels. Don't give a rip about labels. I've never paid attention to labels. When I was a kid, the only thing I knew of was OP.
Yeah, the only thing I wasn't shocked. The only thing I was shocked about is that I didn't see hypercolor action going on in this movie. Do you remember hypercolor shirts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Touch them and they turn different colors.
Right.
That's
where
fantastic.
the armpits would turn different colors because that was where the major
wore
of
the
the
damn things because it was
nobody wore the damn
I'm a
things.
sweaty bitch.
Are you kidding me?
Everybody wore
the shorts, the shirts, everything. Which was gross with the shorts, by the way, because the crotch.
Your crotch was changing.
It was nice and warm, so it was a totally different color.
Is that the color change, or did you just wet yourself?
But I guess on a set of a movie, you can't have hot crotch.
Okay, apparently I grew up in a much poorer area than you guys did because we didn't pay attention to labels. I just knew, video games.
So they're getting ready to hustle Lucas, all right? And so one of his goons comes up and opens up this.
Oh, the case.
The case.
The case.
With the molded foam to this power glove. All right, guys, let's talk about the power glove. Let's just go ahead and dive into this right now.
Do it.
It's a piece of shit.
I had a power glove.
Why did we have a power glove?
I had a power glove.
Why?
Okay, I bought it secondhand in a garage store, and I believe I traded something very important that I got in trouble with from Mom later on. However,
I'm sure.
However, I had one, and I was so excited about having this power glove because I had no games, and I had to go over to my buddy's house because he had all the games and everything like that. So he always kind of lorded it over me with that stuff. At least at that time, he's a much nicer person now, but so I walk over to his house and I've got the power glove on. And I'm in the pose of Lucas, and I'm like, he opens the door, and I'm just holding this power glove across my chest. And
say, hand over the chest. Look at me.
This power glove is mine.
Envious, bitch.
And I will play this. But you know who actually played with that power glove first? My buddy.
Oh.
Yep. He played with it first, and he actually discovered that it sucked. And yes, it did suck. It did not work. It was like any other peripheral for Nintendo.
It was a glorified glove with a controller strapped to it.
The main purpose of this device is to make playing the game harder. It's not hard
Oh,
to
yeah.
pick up the
Well,
pad.
maybe Lucas was just that good.
No. Why do you get a peripheral? The peripheral is supposed to give you an advantage of some kind. There was no advantage to this. You had to be more precise. You had to be more careful. You had to recalibrate every 2 seconds. Those goddamn sensors on the TV did not work.
No.
It was horrible. So people usually just end up taking off the power glove and just using the control pad, which was on the thing. There was an actual control pad on this power
I never
glove.
owned one. A buddy of mine did, and when I was watching Lucas, as I forget what the racing game was he was playing, but I'm watching him, and he's moving his hand left and right as he's steering his car left and right, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, I never owned one, but I did play with my buddy's power glove.
Yeah, Travis talks about
It
how
didn't fucking work.
This is the moment that he remembers, and his buddy played it first. I remember him testing it out at the house, and he's like, son of a bitch, maybe I just suck at this. And my friend, who is a total, game genius, is going to rock this out, but it sucked.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Sucked. And I'm like, can I use it? Can I use it, Trav?
We
Can
never
I use it? And he's
got
like, no.
my buddies to work the way that it was supposed to. So
What do you mean I was supposed to? I can't even believe the testers, the design people, and the testers at Nintendo got it to work. There was no way. It looked cool, and that is it.
They were
Yeah.
selling it brand new for over $100 back in the late '80s.
If you could get any use out of it, great. You just got your money's worth. But think about the Nintendo peripherals. The power pad, the power glove, the robot. I had no idea what the robot did. Remember the robot?
No.
It was in commercials and shit. I don't remember. Oh, we're gonna get scathing emails from Nintendo gamer freaks. But I had no idea what the robot did. It was like this robot. It was like when it first came out. There was this robot that came with it.
Okay.
But then you also had the gun, which did you use it for anything but duck hunt?
No.
No.
But you know what? It was really good at Duck
Oh
Hunt.
no!
It was very good at duck. No, it was absolutely very good.
It was
Duck Hunt.
great.
It was perfect.
It was
Yes.
great for all of the shooters. It wasn't just Duck Hunt. There was the one where it was like the Old West, whatever, and you had your
All right,
right,
Mr. Rich
that's
Kid,
right,
you're talking
yeah.
about all this stuff. And we had 3 games.
3 games. That was it.
Rich Kid. My friend owned all this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't
We
know.
had Super Mario
We
Brothers.
could go over to our
track and
friend's
field.
house, but we weren't allowed to play. We could watch
We
him
could
play.
watch.
Well, that's just because your friend was an asshole.
This brings us. This brings us.
Richard,
up.
you're very nice.
Jeez. I was avoiding mentioning his name. Richard, I'm so sorry, man. You're a completely different person now. You are a gentleman and a scholar. we had. This whole movie reinforces the main thing that everybody knows about video games. It is so much more fun to play a video game than it is to watch it. And every single time you had to watch somebody playing a video game in this movie, the whole pace stopped. It stopped. Video Armageddon was the most boring sequence of the entire movie. You had touching sequences, action-packed sequences. And as soon as you watch somebody playing a video game, you're like, I'm bored. All of a sudden, it just paced slowed to a crawl.
Because during the video game sequences, there was still touching. Not emotionally touching, but if you recall the announcer,
Come here, my little pretty.
the way he grabbed
He
a hold
grabbed
of
her
that girl
ponytails and she-
just started his hands.
His hands were right by her boobs.
Were right by her boobs, and he's flopping her ponytails around or her little pigtails, whatever. And it was, I instantly just got creeped out. It was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it was
and
all
everybody's
kinda
okay
creepy.
with this.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
manhandle
Okay, let's
this-
back
I
it
wanna-
up
but-
to Lucas.
I want to get
Okay.
back to Lucas.
Yes.
here.
Okay, yes, Lucas, sorry.
So Lucas, his delivery of the famous line, "I love the power glove. It's so bad. It's so bad."
Right.
Such an awkward, weird delivery of a line. I don't know how many
It really
takes.
was.
I wonder how many takes it took to get that, because his interpretation of that line, the director's vision of that line, the writer's vision of that line, there's no way they found common ground. They're like, no, you're supposed to say it's so bad because that's what people said in 1989.
Right.
But he's like, it's the strangest delivery, and you just YouTube it and just watch it.
You know-
YouTube, the Power Glove, it's so bad. You will find this. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Was the Power Glove bad? Oh yes,
Fuck,
it was
yeah,
bad.
it was.
but the way that Lucas delivered that right there was what made me decide that I had to
You
have
had
one.
to have one.
Oh.
But did I ever own one? Not on your
Okay,
life.
so how can
No.
you not say that this was a walking, talking commercial?
Oh, of course it was. I mean,
we're focusing on the Nintendo product placement aspect of the film.
Even when they unfold like the pamphlets of Nintendo, I'm like, oh my god, I remember that. Like, I remember that Nintendo logo.
I still view Nintendo as a backdrop for the film. It was a poorly masked whatever.
Poorly masked, yes. That's
for
thinly veiled, yes.
family trying to reunite. And I'll get into that a little bit, towards the end here. But yeah, it was still.
There's two marketing devices here that are beyond the backdrop of just being a regular. I'm playing. This is just a game console. It's in every house. One is the Power Glove, which I don't know if it came out at that time or not. Or if that was
by the time the release of the movie, it had come out.
The other one was Super Mario Brothers 3, which they unveiled during the finals in Video Armageddon at the end.
Right, which made you want to say, I want this game. I mean, it was the smartest marketing tool on the planet.
And I actually respect that, actually. I got no problem with that in a movie. There's Michael Bay does this every fucking day, and yes, we hate Michael Bay, but he does this all the time.
Just so you know, we hate Michael Bay.
But Michael Bay, if you're listening, I can't stand you, and I will give you absolutely no more of my money, ever, because you hate us. And you've told us that. So we're on the same wavelength, so don't worry about it.
All right, that works.
Michael Bay doesn't need my 10 bucks.
So did you not fall in love with Lucas at all in the movie?
No, I had no sympathy for him at all.
He had like 5 seconds.
It's so weird that you did, but it's actually interesting at the same time.
He had like 5 seconds where it was like, huh? This character
like,
might have some redeeming qualities.
He like there was his human moments in there, and then they fell apart.
Okay, his redeeming quality moment where I thought he might have some redeeming qualities, and again it lasted like maybe 5 seconds. It left as quickly as it came because he walks up to what was her name?
Haley?
Haley. He walks up to Haley and he goes, "I'm in the competition."
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so
he starts scamming on her.
And here's the big thing. If you guys hated
no, he's a douchebag.
If you guys hated him so much, why would they give him the lines that were the biggest draw to bring money into the Nintendo Corporation?
No. Don't get me wrong.
That's such a good point.
That is a good point.
That is a very good point.
I didn't hate the kid at all.
Well, aside from the one line,
I didn't see any purpose for his character other than,
But he delivered the lines that sold the next system because he was the best. He was in love with the Power Glove. He was the kid with the good hair.
His character's sole purpose was to sell Nintendo. Okay, that's the only reason for that character.
But if he was a total ass, if there was no lovable moment, they would not have used him to sell the product.
He is a well-dressed, attractive guy who's good at the video games. Usually your antagonists are what the PI is. And we'll get into the PI in a little bit, the guy recovering the children.
Yeah.
But, no, he's this awkward,
we haven't
ugly,
even talked about him.
Yeah, we haven't talked about him, which we're
last thing I'm going to say on Lucas. His sole purpose, again, was to sell the product. Okay, that was it. Other than that, I really didn't see any point to his character.
I thought he was supposed to be an antagonist, another barrier.
To a point.
He's the main. Aside from the PI, he's the main barrier.
He was one of until the very end. He was like the weakest antagonist.
He's definitely the weakest antagonist. Yeah.
I view his sole purpose as product placement. He was there to sell Nintendo. That was it.
Make it look good.
Okay, but you had other asses in the movie. You had you had the person who was the PI, and you had the stepdad. Okay, but who sold the product?
Yeah, the stepdad's kind of selling the product to that demographic.
The good-looking, charismatic kid. That's who they put up there. Okay, as far as the characters go...
Because aside from Lucas, Jimmy's the only one selling the product.
The best-looking
The silent kid.
Yeah.
The best-looking kid in the entire movie was Lucas.
Yep.
He was a pretty boy.
Oh,
okay?
big time.
It's just like, watching Price is Right. Was it Bob Barker who was up there, waving his hands in front of the products? No. You had the attractive women. You had their target demographic was, little boys for these video games. You had the pretty boy.
Why not take the Cobra Kai method? Because the main antagonist with the Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid, he was a pretty boy too. But in the end, he said, "Hey, this," he hands Danielson the trophy and says, "You're all right, Daniel. You're all right." So they give him redemption. Why not give Lucas redemption? There's no reason not to. You can make him the biggest prick in the world as long as he gets redemption at the end. You're still going to sell that product. He's going to sell that product for you.
Here's what I was super impressed with, and I am super impressed with this. Cars in 1989 could take a fucking beating.
Oh, they could definitely take a beating.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna
You
get into
smashed
that.
into the cars,
And they can
right
still
now,
run.
and they are done.
Done.
Okay.
It's
On
totaled.
that note,
Done.
I
Crumpled
was
zones and
super
everything.
happy because I this is only the second time I've ever seen the movie. I saw it when I was a little kid, and then I saw it again last night.
But we
or
are
sorry,
from the
no, I watched it
generation
this
where you
morning. I
watch
watched it this
something and you
morning.
watch it again, you watch it again, you watch it again, you watch it again, and you've seen it twice in your life?
When yes, I've seen it twice. When I've seen bits and pieces of the movie over the years, but I've only actually sat through the entire film, the whole thing in its entirety twice. But when you're talking cars taking a beating, when the PI backs into Dad/Bo Bridges, when he backs into his truck, all I could think was, oh shit, there goes his radiator. And
Yeah.
I didn't remember
Of
much.
course,
I
yes.
didn't remember much about the movie, and then I was watching it. I didn't know where they were going next with it, but when I saw him, ram.
I
ass
am
into front
so
on the truck,
glad that the radiator
all I could
actually
think
blew.
was that radiator is cracked,
Yes.
it's trashed, and then all of a sudden you see this team coming like, oh yay, they do have some sense about them. The truck is toast, it's not going anywhere.
We're going to talk about this truck, and then we're going to talk about the PI.
Okay, all right.
This truck, guys, all right. The PI is trying to get these kids, and yes, we're going to go into PI, but he's trying to get these kids before Bo Bridges and Christian Slater find him as well. And, oh, we had a beer? No, we got another one,
I think
right?
we're out of beer.
There's no way we're out of beer.
Because you
have two of
bought
them.
little beers.
We have two of them.
No, you thought it would be cute.
There's
No,
one, there's one
another
more,
one.
there's one more
There's
six
another
pack
one
in the fridge.
Okay, fine.
Okay. All right. So
Now the important stuff is settled.
no, we have to go get this other beer.
Okay, pause.
All right, we're pausing.
Okay, apparently I'm a woman. I cannot be fast.
All right, and welcome
Okay,
back to
we're-
Flicks and Dicks.
He's in American Pie 2 as high school guy.
Why are you whispering? If you're gonna say something, go ahead and say
I didn't
it.
realize I was whispering.
Yeah, get your voice up.
I'm a little inebriated at the moment. Luke
Damn little
Edwards,
beers.
AKA Jimmy. Hey, I had a rum and coke before we started. AKA Jimmy played high school guy
High school guy.
in American Pie 2.
No, I looked up his dossier. And yes, he hasn't done that much actually. So.
Okay, so we left off with PI guy.
PI guy. We need to get right before PI guy. Okay, look, guys, I'm in the industry. All right, I am in the recycled automotive parts industry. I deal with a lot of recycle or junk yards, auto dismantling yards, and one of the things that PI does is call a tow truck on Bo Bridges and Christian Slater.
Okay,
all right,
I
now-
had a major fucking problem.
Oh,
with
did
this.
you?
Oh,
What was your major
yes.
problem with it, Mike?
Okay, number one, legality. Okay,
Of course, legality. Okay, yeah. It's
but
given.
he goes well. He's talking to this tow truck driver like he's talking to some little jackass punk kid down the road. Okay.
Hey, you want to make $50? $50
Okay.
bucks.
I've known quite a few tow truck drivers over the years, and no, they just as soon slap you in the forehead with their
Okay,
dick
but this is
than
this
say,
is
"Oh, I'll take $50."
1989.
I don't care. I don't care what year
Okay,
it
if you're
is.
given the opportunity to have a car, because he gave it to them. He gave them the truck,
All right.
saying, "Here you go.
Unless
scrap
you're dealing
it.
with a
I'm gonna pay
complete
$50 to just drag it
fucking
away."
Nope,
idiot.
Lisa,
Unless
you
you're
are
dealing
so wrong.
with a complete fucking
You are so
idiot
wrong on
of a
this.
tow truck driver. No, he's not going to say.
Okay,
"Oh,
you've had a
50
car
bucks."
sitting in your garage, and you asked somebody to take it the fuck away from you.
No, that's fine, and we did, and that's
Okay,
totally
how
cool.
much did you pay for the person to take it away from you?
I didn't ask a tow truck driver who just happened to be sitting there.
No.
Okay, but did he ask you for the, well, let me see your title, let me see your everything, let me,
He
or
ha-
did
he
he
has to
just
have the title.
take it
He has
away?
to
Damn it! No, he
Did
didn't.
he?
No,
Thank
he
you.
didn't. No.
Fuck yeah.
Whoa.
No,
didn't.
he just
Whoa.
took it away.
He just took it away.
Yeah.
So then you dealt with the
Bam.
idiots.
It
of the
wasn't
tow
in
truck
a
drivers.
parking lot. It was my goddamn garage. Okay,
So you
however-
could have jacked the car, put it in your garage, and said, "Take this shit
Guys,
away."
this is not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that as soon as Christian Slater and Bo Bridges catches up to wherever they took it, it's in pieces, correct?
They'd already stripped it.
They stripped it.
How is that not
Fine,
shady as hell?
they stripped it, and even the guys who were stripping were like, "Whoops! Oh, that was a problem." All right,
But they kept going.
no, guys, they said, what did they say? Put it back together. Bo Bridges is playing Nintendo in the back office, and then they're waiting for them to put the car back together? No, that does not happen. When you strip this car, nobody's putting it back together.
Nope.
Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to take the other truck that is totally running just fine and say, you know what, this was our fuck up, take this truck. I think this truck that's at most valued at $1,000 or $500 at the time.
Okay,
There's no way they're putting that goddamn truck together.
Oh, no.
Did we ever see Did we ever actually see that truck? After
Yes.
that?
Yes.
I totally saw this. I'm sitting there going, oh, that's horseshit. They even put the tree back in there. They did
Yes.
everything.
They did not keep the tree. God fucking tree.
Everything
God.
was put back into the truck, but it was put back together with different
panels. I'm like, nope, nobody put that truck back together.
No.
Because we're talking about welding, and they're just using cutting torches. They are not being careful when they tear this truck apart. Nobody's being careful.
No, they cut that
It did
truck
happen over
apart.
9 days, let me just say. This was 9 days worth of action.
That was a 1 day deal where they ripped this truck, they cut it apart, and then they, with Christian Slater's help, they put it back together. And where was Dad?
He was playing video games.
Dad was playing Zelda 2.
Do you know why? Because Nintendo games are so much fun, and even adults love them.
Dad got stuck
Brought to you by
playing
Nintendo.
Zelda 2.
Brought to you by
Now
Nintendo.
that you're playing with power.
Okay, all right. So let's fast forward to our own lives. Who still plays video games?
Oh, good question,
Who
Liz.
grew up on Nintendo Mania?
Grew up.
Mania.
Yeah.
All of us. The three of us grew up on Nintendo
I
Mania.
am not ashamed to admit it. I make no bones about it. Like it, love it, leave it. I give a damn. I still play my video games.
You want to know what my validation was? And I fucking hate video games now. Is the dad whose son is missing.
No
and he's
shit.
stuck on playing video games, and he can't walk away.
It's so weird. This is so bizarre. They're in the hotel room, and he's completely fixated on the video game.
Yeah.
He's
Dad's
in the
defense-
wrecking yard. He's completely
In
fixated
Dad's
on the video game.
defense, it's not his biological child.
Oh, he's just doing them a fucking favor.
But it's still his own child missing with his,
Yeah, his own 12-year-old
But it's
child.
Fred Savage.
Yeah, so
It's okay.
yeah, he's all
It's
right.
okay.
He can take care
He'll
of
be
himself.
fine.
All right, guys, let's get into this PI. I think this is a little treasure
The
trove
little
with this-
skeezy looking dude who looks skeezy from the beginning.
He's got a bow and tie. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's got a bow and tie. He's
Bolo
back down in
tie
the
is.
80s.
Oh, the bolo
I'm
ties?
surprised he didn't have like the mullet action going on.
Damn it, he totally should have. You could have gotten The Rock to play it with a big ass mullet and a bow and tie. That'd been awesome.
Okay, the bolo tie, yeah, whatever. They were hip, they were hot, they were the fad then.
No, they're
I did-
passing
So
fad.
this is Travis
89.
Dogging
This is
It, who used to wear Z Cavarici jeans with some. He
In the
owned
90s.
He owned a million silver belts that were like
My
these
brother-
big ass belts or
My
whatever. But
brother
he's got a
had
problem with the bolo tie.
Bolo ties like mad. He always had a bolo tie. Everywhere he went, he had
You went
a bolo
on a
tie.
date, you wore a denim shirt and a bolo,
And a bolo tie.
Yes.
But
Awesome.
the PI, oh
Okay.
God. How in the hell... Okay, Bo Bridges, he didn't really play the loving, caring father role well, I guess. I don't know. There was just no loving, caring.
The,
got nothing to work with. I
PI
mean, come
was
on.
dedicated. You have to
he
give
was
him that.
dedicated.
He was
But all I
dedicated
could
through
think
and
was,
through and through and through and through.
I
and
would have
through.
knocked that motherfucker out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were getting there. So this guy is commissioned by the mother and father to go ahead and retrieve.
The mother and the asshole
Yeah,
stepfather.
that's right. The
Stepfather.
asshole stepfather. He's
Yes.
stepfather, and this is an 80s movie.
To whatever kids we don't even know who he's actually responsible for because there's a whole mix of who the hell knows who they are.
So he says, and then he makes it very clear to Christian Slater and Bo Bridges that if they get the kid before he does, he doesn't get paid. You feel me? You feel me? And so they're going, well, that's fucked up. So they're going to go ahead and get the kids themselves. So then hilarity ensues because he's going through all these foibles and Bo Bridges and Christian Slater are knocking him the fuck out and throwing shovels at him and slamming into him.
With
Committing
a very
vehicular
durable
manslaughter.
car. Let
Incredibly
me
durable,
just
yeah.
say.
So durable, in fact, that driver's side headlight
Yeah.
He not only broke it once, but he broke it twice.
Yeah, you gotta hand to continuity. That's it's a beautiful thing because then we can just drive that home. So he's a sleazeball. We all know he's a sleazeball.
Right, of course. You have to have the villain and everything, but this movie has had. You have the villain with Lucas. You have the villain with the PI. You have the villain with the
This
stepdad.
movie was nothing about villains.
It was villains, but yet kids can travel across this, the fucking country, and it's fine. There's no villains attached to it. It's so bizarre.
One of the moments with him that got a real legitimate laugh from me is he comes into this one bar or something like that. And this kid's playing a pinball machine, and he says, "Have you seen these? Have you seen these kids?" And one of them's a mental case, and the kid's like, "Is he just like you?" Well, he can't be too much of a mental case. I was like, damn it! I never talked to adults that way, but it was classic. It was great.
Okay, but what stuck with you was that. What stuck with me was if you've ever hung out in arcades, the owners of those machines watch them like hawks. Why? Because they make money on those machines. And I don't care if it's, a little hole in the wall joint, whatever. They're keeping an eye on their machines. They really are. Yes, random things happen to them. They break down, whatever, drunken fights ensue, and there goes the pinball machine. But first and foremost, they were concerned with their pinball machine. And for this guy to walk into an arcade and manhandle this arcade, the pinball machine the way that he did, he just lifted up and dropped it. I'm like, oh my god, where
Do you know it's funny you bring that up because I noticed.
I actually liked that moment where he lifted it, he tilted it. He tilted the machine.
He did.
And fucked him up.
You can't really do that with a video machine, can you?
No, you can't. So that was a moment where I'm like,
can, but
yes.
that's a different deal. You can't.
That was correct. That was right. That was perfect. Where he's like, and fuck you.
Do you know that totally reminds me is that people go fucking crazy if you mess with their video game.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that scene in Can't Buy Me Love where Patrick Dempsey goes up to his friend that he's been kind of a dick to? And the friend's kind of ignoring him and everything. And so Patrick Dempsey puts his hands on the controls while he's playing the video game to fuck him up on that motorcycle game. And his friend just whips him around the room, slams him up against the wall, and then really lets him have it. It's like, you fucked with somebody's video game. You do not do that.
That is very, very true.
It's absolutely true. You never just jump in and jack somebody's game up. I mean, that's
I love my wife, but I'll be damned. You jumped off. Totally playing. Totally playing.
His wife is sitting right here, just so you know.
Okay, so I think we need to get to they finally make their way to California.
Yes.
We had to listen to that the whole movie.
Yeah.
All right, so
Which made you fucking want to go to California. I mean, it was like, California is great. I love it. But I just got back from California and I fell in love with it. So guilty. I saw the dinosaurs and it happened. It did happen.
we do have to hit on the scene before they get to California. Are they in Reno in the casino?
They're in Reno, yeah.
This is where they start. The I mean, this is where Jimmy's like he has to know all these games and they are going to enlist the help of the Nintendo hotline.
Yes.
Did you ever call the Nintendo hotline?
Never
I did not,
No.
but
I knew it was available, but no.
I didn't know it was available. I didn't know it existed until
There's no way in hell. Even then, there's no way in hell you're jumping on that 800 number and you're getting straight through lickety split, no time flat.
I heard online, I read online that it wasn't a toll-free number. It was a long-distance phone call.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, they were staying in a schwank-ass hotel. I mean, their room was nice.
And how did they get the money for that room?
By hustling.
By hustling craps.
Hustling.
Do you know
It
who that
wasn't
actor
hustling.
is?
I don't remember his name, but
He
I
was
love
in
that guy.
vacation. He was in vacation with Wally World. He's like
He was also
they
in
made
Batteries
me
Not
act like a
Included.
dog. They questioned my humanity.
He was also in Batteries Not Included.
Oh, was he? No, he's a great character actor.
Love
I don't know
that
what his
guy.
name is,
I did have major problems with his truck driving scene, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Did you notice the way he was manhandling that steering wheel?
Comments have been made on that on the internet as well. Yeah.
He's just jerking that. I'm like, my God, that's got to have
It's
some
like back in the day where you're driving along, and you're shaking the fuck out of the steering wheel.
Making
and,
30-degree turns just casually using the gun. You'd be all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Or when the four semis come together, where they block the PIN, and my very first thought was, how the fuck long is it going to take all of these vehicles, all of these semis, to back the fuck up to let even one of them through.
I didn't even think about that,
all
Mike.
I could think about in that scene was, wow, this is going to take some serious time.
Wait a minute. No, we're cool. It's a two-way road. Two-way road. They don't have to back up that far. They just have to kind of merge over a little bit. They're fine.
You've also got a car smack dab in the center of this two-lane road. He is now perpendicular to this little, two-lane highway, and 4 semis butted up right next to him.
So the PI...
The guy being an asshole, do you really think he's like, oh, well, hang on. Let me move what's left of my busted-ass car out of your way so you can make it through?
I just like that he, eventually was like, I fucking hate you! Like, you have made my life miserable. It's not just him trying to do his job. He is mad at these kids for being smarter than he is.
He grabs a hold of Fred Savage and he's jerking him around. He goes, "You little jerk!"
And this is when he catches up to him in the casino, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And this also brings up probably the most uncomfortable scene in movie history.
He touched my breast.
He touched, and so Haley comes out. And they're like, Fred Savage says, he's got Jimmy. She comes out in the middle of this goddamn casino and just screams at the top of her lungs. And this was in the preview, just the scream, but not the line that follows after it. And she says at the top of her lungs, he touched my breast.
Okay, so how did you feel in the movie theater when this happened?
I was fucking 12. It didn't bother me then. It sure as hell bothers me now.
I saw it on VHS. I didn't see it in the theater, so I have no idea how, the audience, received this little line. But
I thought it was genius. I thought it was because they could have said, he stole my brother. But no, it was, he touched my breast.
Get the job done.
Yeah, and even when the truckers moved in on the PI, it wasn't, he stole a kid. It was,
you touched her breast.
You touched her breast, huh?
Yeah. He made it out with a purplish eye.
Exactly. It's
that was it. No, hang on. When the PI comes up, manhandles Fred Savage, and he's calling him a punk, a jerk, whatever. The waitress girl, the cabana girl, whatever the title is for it, I apologize, I don't know. But she's watching.
The one in the casino who was 15 years old?
No, hang on.
I remember that.
Oh my god, I was like, oh, this whole room is run by kids.
She's in the video arcade, it's fine. It's the video arcade section of the casino.
In this scene, they're out poolside because...
where it flips them a little bit and it shows her...
What is her name? Haley?
Yeah.
She's sitting poolside. She's on her phone because she's got her own little personal phone pulled up to her deck chair.
Because she's working the hotline, right?
So...
Because $300 is magic. Well, $390 has magically.
$390
has magically created the best income
I'm
of
shutting
their
this
lives.
down. Shush. The cabana girl,
yes,
who is bringing the drinks and everything, she watches the PI manhandle Fred Savage, and she freely gives out, "Oh well, sir, your other child is in the casino." She just watched this man thoroughly manhandling.
2 seconds ago, she was like,
manhandling him.
I don't know where they are. But now suddenly, she's like, he's in the
I just watched you abuse the shit out of this kid that you say is your son, but looks absolutely nothing like you. You're beating him right here in front of me. Oh, and sir, your other child is in the casino at the arcade.
Would you like a drink? I'm just your helpful server.
Okay, so the two major problems I hadn't seen were the cattle scene and that scene right there where I was like, bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Yeah, I call it bullshit.
And then, yes, we can move into the 13 to 15-year-old girl selling. She was a candy striper. She was selling, gum and whatnot, going through the casino. And then, wait, hang on. After Fred Savage tells her,
I've been 15 years old in a casino.
Yes, we have.
The way this 15-year-old girl kind of whips around to smile for the camera as she's turning away from Fred Savage. He hands her a cool $5 for his pack of gum or whatever the hell it was he bought, and she does her little
I'm on TV,
America's
Mom!
Next Top Model pose as she's turning around with the big toothy grin.
Okay, so in the 90s, mid-90s, I was in a casino at age 15, and I was totally fine to be in there, even though I wasn't fine to be in there. But they're like, hey, is she fine to be in here? And he's like, yes, she is. So I was fine. But, so I understand the whole, I have to take myself back going, yes, all right, She's fine to be in there.
Were there 15-year-old candy stripers in casinos?
Actually,
in
I
the
don't
late
remember
80s,
any of
early
them.
90s?
I don't remember that being. But, so, we have that horrible line, and then that starts a chase. They get away from there, and they finally make their way to California, and Universal Studios, which is also front and center in this fucking movie.
How did they not have to pay to get into Universal Studios? How?
Yeah, that's true.
How did they not
Well,
have
they
to
still
pay?
got that $300 from playing craps after, the hotel and the Nintendo bill.
And having a cell phone by your side at the pool.
I think it was
wasn't
just
a
a
cell
regular.
phone.
I
It
think
was
it was
a
just a
regular
regular phone.
corded
That's
phone.
back when they actually carried phones out to you, because $300 spenders are high rollers in Reno.
Ugh.
That's
I had
hilarious.
major problems with when they walked out to register and they just were like, hey, I'm going to register him. Cool, that's fine. There was no, I expected that to be another tripping stone. Like, bam, how are we going to come up with the money to register him?
And nobody
No,
thought about the
no.
asshole
Nope, just
who was
register.
taking
Just
registrations,
register.
yelling at everybody that came
They
through.
could have been hustling on the way over to Universal Studios. It's all good, okay? But then all of a sudden, this preliminaries on the video Armageddon, all that, screeches the pace of the movie to just a crawl. Because all of a sudden, we are now watching people play video games.
Right, and I actually thought when they did the 15-minute timer that it actually took 15 minutes. I timed it. I watched it the second time around. It was 8 minutes.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It was just
but
shy of
still
8 minutes,
8
but
to
it was
15
lengthy
minutes.
as hell.
It was lengthy. That's fine, but they definitely did a play by play by play by play.
But no, do you really think that even if it was 15 minutes, they were stuck on a trolley chasing each other around? They got stuck in the King Kong little deal. And again, back what I said in the beginning, there was no security anywhere throughout this entire movie.
Oh, yeah, they can just
No.
go anywhere they want.
Except for in the casino. They wandered through everywhere. But with the PI, when the girl screams, he touched my breast. Apparently, I'm the only one that had a
Gross.
problem with this. You get the only security throughout the entire film. They grab the PI, and they run on either side. They haul him out. They don't show anything that happens to him next, but even
They just
even
took him outside. They didn't
even-
do anything
even
to him.
if
They
that-
took
that
him
area-
outside.
they're not going to call the cops.
No,
No,
no.
no.
I mean,
Some little
that's
girl
just shenanigans
screams out,
in
this
a casino.
random man touched my breast, and all they're going to do is just throw him out the front door and send him on his way.
So we're back at Universal Studios, and Lisa, you were talking about registration. Did anyone sit there and go, there are two people that were supposed to be in this movie and were not?
The parents?
Well, yeah, okay, fine, the parents, okay.
Okay,
Check
we're
this
going to
out.
give him $50,000, but there's no parent present to sign off on tax purposes
Would you
at
like
all.
cash or check?
Right. Just bam. Okay, you got a kid. Great.
There's two people that were supposed to be in this movie. One is the registration guy, and the other one's the video announcer. Did anyone? I grew up in this, living with this movie, thinking that the registration guy was John Malkovich. He's not. He's just some fucking guy. He looks exactly like John Malkovich, and I had no idea it was not
You
John.
taught the dude in the Oompa Loompa suit who
Yes,
they signed up
the
with?
registration guy. He looks exactly like John Malkovich. Now, tell me that the announcer should not have been played by Joe Piscopo.
That's all I thought.
Oh my God, that's the whole
that
only
is
thing I was
all
thinking.
thought
I'm
was
like,
Joe Piscopo was perfect for
This
this
guy was
role.
a discount, Joe
This
Piscopo.
whole entire movie was filled with, you know who should have
Do
played
you know who
this?
should have played
Oh
this?
my God.
Joe Piscopo would have rocked this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
No, I
why?
did
Why?
not see-
Why did they
I
not do
did
it?
not see and still do not see dude as being John Malkovich, the registration
He looked.
guy.
I thought it was him.
Not the registration guy.
At the registration guy, yeah.
No, he was short, fat.
He looked exactly like. I thought it was him. All these years, I thought it was him. I
Okay.
watched it again. I'm like,
Wow,
that's not
all right.
John Malkovich. But Joe Piscopo. Oh, where
Piscopo
are you?
would have been
Where are you,
perfect
my
for the
friend? You would
announcer.
have shined on that stage.
I
you would
think
have
that
shined.
Joe Piscopo made a wise decision and turned it down, seeing how the announcer that
Do we
they
even know
got to play
who
the
was
announcer.
up for, who was the second running for all these parts?
the actual video Armageddon, game Armageddon, whatever announcer, I think
He's a nobody. He's done maybe one or two movies. I mean, he
But
looked
did Joe
nervous up there.
Piscopo look at this and say, "Oh wow, this guy sounds like a creeper. Look at how
If
I'm
this
supposed to be
nobody
fondling
actor
and
who's never done
manhandling this
anything
girl with the pigtails. No, I want nothing to do with this."
Could do what he did because he tried so hard and it was awkward and weird. But all I saw was Joe Piscopo rocking it up there. Absolutely.
All right, so you have these kids who have traveled and traveled and traveled and traveled, and now they have finally made it there. And the only reason I don't think it's wacky is only because of my road trip with Travis to California, where we showed up in my grandfather happened to be in Las Vegas at the time. And all these strangers were like, hey, you can sleep on our couch. Hey, I understand that, where it was like, oh, you're not just some runaway, you're just looking for a place to stay. And we ran into that over and over
That's
and
so
over
true.
again.
Yeah, that's so
Did you have a random biker gang offer to give you a ride
we
somewhere?
we were
Haley
not
had
so
it in with
lucky.
the biker gang.
Yeah, we were not so lucky, but we did sleep on random floors and random couches, and we just did
God
the
damn,
random
that
ass
was dangerous.
shit.
That was not a good situation.
It was not a good
No, it was
situation.
bad. It was really bad.
Yeah. So okay. So now they're here. They've done it, and
Okay, let's get into video Armageddon. We got the preliminaries. Jimmy obviously wins preliminaries, and this is where Lucas is starting to shit his pants. This is the first time he's seen Jimmy play, and he's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this guy's a contender."
okay. Was it
He's gonna
strange
kick
to
my
you
ass."
at all that the rounds were like short?
There was no. There was no.
There wasn't round to find. I mean, it's $50,000. That's a big amount of money, and it's like we've got one round.
You're gonna have a bracket system. I mean, you have to have a bracket system, right?
A bracket system, sure, but even at $50,000, yeah, that was a healthy amount.
It looked like they were just having the one round, and whoever was left, the last three left
Okay,
standing.
so he
off
was
of
at
that
the
one
tail
round.
end of the first round. So that you had the first round, and then he joined in on the second round, and they made it.
Well,
Okay.
that's why the asshole registration guy was saying, "You're late. Get in there," but you've made
Move
it
it,
just in
move
time.
it, move it.
But it still wasn't the typical build up to $50,000.
Yeah, when you think about Karate Kid and Rocky, they have to go
Yeah.
through all these brackets.
Yeah.
Because you're whittling down to the best of the best.
Okay,
Right.
so you
So
guys,
I had
got
a major
stuck on
problem.
the bracket.
Yeah, major problem with the bracket where it was all right. So this little kid passed the first round, and bam, he's done. He's into the finals.
Yep.
He's
played
one
two
of
games.
three.
He's definitely in the
He
finals.
played 2 games:
Right.
Ninja Gaiden and Super Mario 3. That was it.
Okay, it should have been like 8 games leading up to it. The fact that it was just one game and then bam, he was in the finals was
They
ridiculous.
did say that there was like this long list of, I forget the number, but there was this long list of games that were going to be played during this whole deal. But all Jimmy had to play
Right.
was Ninja Gaiden
One
and Mario 3.
fucking game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ninja Gaiden, because even the registration guy says that's the game we're playing. So all these people show up to play one fucking game, and then in the finals
With
they
no
play.
registration fees. No, like, this is my mom. Don't worry. Here's our
See,
tax ID.
You guys
like,
got stuck. You guys got stuck on the bracket or lack thereof. I got stuck on the fact that the announcer said there was still like 15 minutes to go or whatever, and the clock was ticking down, and it was like
That's
at
one of
11
the-
minutes.
yeah,
or
that's one
whatever
of
it
the-
was. I
the
don't know
mistakes
exact
at the
time and
internet.
everything, but it was like, wow, okay, is no one watching this?
I actually thought, because I was watching the time ticking down, watching it at home, I felt like 15 minutes had passed, but it did not pass. 8 minutes was
Okay,
what it was.
okay,
Close
and
enough,
again,
but
again, you
it
got
was
stuck
still.
on that. On the same time issue, they left the building where a video game Armageddon thing was going on, and they went this way and that, wound up on a trolley that went for a good little ways.
And the
then
only time in
somehow
the
or
movie,
other-
where's your mom?
Yeah, not where's your dad, but where's your mom?
Who said that? Who said that?
One
It
of
was
the
on the
passengers
trolley. So they're helping him
Oh,
over,
that's
everything,
right,
and they're
that's
like,
on the trolley.
where's your mom? The only time they've traveled from state to state to state to
Bikers,
state.
truckers, everybody picked
Yeah.
up, and nobody questioned where's your parents.
They've been robbed
Nobody.
twice.
Yeah.
But okay, again with the time issue, they leave the venue for the video game Armageddon.
Right.
Okay.
Because they're taking a break, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They leave and they're now running. They jump on the trolley, which takes them to again
Because the PI
King
got
Song
caught up to
ride,
him, mom
King
and dad
Kong ride.
catches up to them, everybody catches up. Everyone's
I kind of like
convening
the
on-
fact that they ran into the PI and they're like, hey, you failed.
Yeah.
Was I
but
the only one
somehow-
who missed the fact that the stepfather, when we came with the mom, he was munching on something like hot tamales or something?
They
Yeah.
made it a big point. She's like, stop eating.
So he's just snacking all the time. They're trying to find this
he
kid that just came
didn't
across
care.
the country.
And that was his big.
This is
that was
such a
the big
Seinfeld
point.
episode, isn't it? Where
God, I hate
Elaine
that show.
Elaine stops by after to go pick up this guy at the hospital, and she stopped by for some goobers or something like that.
You
Okay,
said Seinfeld totally lost me. But anyway, I'm going to finish my thought here real quick. They leave the venue for the game Armageddon deal, and they're now running. They're on the trolley, and the trolley's still going the whole while they're being chased on this trolley. And then they wind up in the King Kong thrill ride,
Sure.
whatever. And it was somehow the same building that the video game Armageddon
Just
was
happened
in.
to be in because they went in the
And
elevator.
They're in that that little elevator that
Dumbwaiter
takes them
type of
down.
thing, yep.
Yeah. And all I think is, okay, that right there would have called a stop to the whole fucking thing because this little kid is now behind the scenes somewhere where he shouldn't have been, and not one person would have been like,
No, I like the guy who was the tour director on it, where he's like, just have a good time. Just
sit down and have a good time, damn it.
He goes, have a good time, damn it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's totally believable.
Yeah.
But that
Totally
elevator
believable.
scene sets up the best reveal. Like, where is the kid? Where is the kid?
Jimmy.
Yeah.
And bam, here's Jimmy coming down
so
this.
I was expecting him to like arrive in the lineup, but no, he's behind the scenes.
He's behind the door.
Yes.
The door is open, and here's the wizard getting ready to
Right.
play this final game. Let's get
And
into
no
it,
one
guys.
said, how the hell did this kid get back here? There was no security stopping anybody from going anywhere on
You
this
felt
big
that tension
reveal.
with the guy who was announcing it, like, and
Jimmy.
here he is.
Yes, I totally bought
Yes.
the tension. I totally
Yes, the
felt
tension
the
was
tension.
correct.
But
So they had to keep
again,
going.
The kid's behind the scenes, and not one person on this. It was a big video game reveal. It was, Super Mario 3 revealed to the world. How'd this kid get behind the scenes here, and no one ever once questioned what did he do back there?
Who cares, man? That entrance is way too good. That entrance was
I
awesome.
guess
love
I
that
just
entrance.
expected him to be coming down at the moment, but he didn't. He was just there.
He was just standing
He
there.
was just there.
Yeah,
the
I
camera's
was
pushing
expecting.
in
I
on
was
him.
expecting
Beautiful. It was
the
beautiful.
dumb waiter thing to be coming down the scene
I expected
and
it to come.
bam.
I expected it to come. Between the Lucas and whatever that little pigtail girl's name was, and the announcer guy. I was expecting him to come down in the middle. Between all three of them there, and it's the dun 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 dun, and everybody looks up and sees this cage coming
Right.
down.
They still got the dun to dun. I was creaming my pants. It was great. So let's get
Wow, you
let's
really
get
fell
into
for that scene. All right.
So let's get into the last scene, and this is Nintendo's big promotional thing for Super Mario Brothers 3.
I liked that he failed multiple times.
Did Jimmy? Are you talking about Jimmy? Right?
Yeah.
He failed multiple times.
Oh,
He
yeah, he
did.
died twice.
He died twice.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to give attention to the scene because we're still watching somebody play a video game, and we need to get
Okay,
the
and then you
audience
have
engaged.
Chickadee with the braids who failed as well.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor girl.
Yeah, but Lucas did not. He did
He
not
was
fail
perfect.
at all.
Yeah, no, he was absolutely flawless. Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't die once, did he?
All right, so I know that when she's yelling, "Go for the star! Go for the warp! Go for the..." He can't fucking hear her. He can't hear her over the whole crowd.
You're focusing
action.
on that. This is a game that was brand new to the. I love my video games. Don't get me wrong.
He's gonna bring up 2 points here. I know where he's going
This-
with this.
It was a brand new video game. No one had supposedly
That's what
had
they said.
seen
Nobody had
this
seen it.
game up until now. And then all of a sudden, Fred Savage and God, I forget his character's name, but anyway, Fred Savage and the Haley chick Jennifer, they were all of a sudden experts on the game, and they knew to find the warp. They knew
Warp,
to find
get the
the
warp.
star.
That's obviously on all over the internet. They're sitting there going, "Well, how would he fucking know what that thing does or get the whistle or what?"
Okay, so I
fine,
guess if you
that's a
play
huge
Super Mario
hole.
Brothers 1, Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers 2, it's going to be the same for the
There's
3.
another problem with this, guys. This whole competition, this finals, is based off of.
Score.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
You
score.
did not get a
Who
bonus.
gives a shit about jumping?
Okay,
about
I
jumping
don't
rails?
want, and all that I
game.
thought about was when I jumped ahead a level and I found that like secret warp, I all of a sudden was in the most challenging round. And it was harder to get points when you're in the most challenging round.
Now, did the points increase on the subsequent levels?
No.
I don't think they
Okay,
did. The
they
points were the
didn't.
same.
Okay.
So you would have been better off staying on the easy
Absolutely.
level
As far
than
as
jumping
video
ahead.
games go,
Yes.
God,
as
that
far
was
as
what
video games go, like Ninja Gaiden, Super Mario. Yes, there was a scoring system, but the scoring, as far as Mario Brothers was concerned, scoring system was only relevant to earning extra lives. Okay, sorry, nerding here.
No, hey, nerd out. That's why we have you
No
here,
one
Mike.
gave a rip about a score in a video game. No one did, unless it was a score.
I don't remember
like
ever
Asteroids.
caring about the score.
Asteroids
ever.
was score.
It was about the level, not the score.
Asteroids, all those Atari games, yes, the score was
was
everything.
score.
In the Nintendo games, no, it was the progression.
It was how far
That's
did
right.
you get?
That's
yeah.
right.
So great, they warped. Now they are got the spikes coming down and things are harder.
They made it out.
Why? Why would they get...
No, hang on.
You're not going to rack up more points being at a higher level.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not.
No, you did not get higher points for... You didn't get... Again, nerding here. You did not get extra points for finding the whistle. You didn't.
No.
But the way it was portrayed was you got extra points.
And they breaks away from Lucas at the final moment to get that star. That doesn't do anything for you.
No,
nope.
It doesn't.
I know enough about... I'm not a gamer at all, but I know enough about Super Mario Bros. 3 because I played the hell out of it and I love that game. But, you did not get extra points for finishing the level.
It was... No. Not well. Okay, it's the first Super Mario Brothers. Yes, you did get bonus points as you're riding that flagpole to the top.
That's right.
That's right.
You did.
Da, 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 da.
But you didn't get extra points for warping to another level. If anything, I guess if you're looking at it, from a competition standpoint, you would have been docked points because in that time where you found the warp zone and all this stuff, you're losing points because everybody else is still playing the game, killing the turtles and the Koopas and the Koopa Troopers and the Boomerang Brothers and all that stuff. You got points for defeating them, but you did not get points just simply for passing them.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay.
Right. So you have these people who are all like... They are now the villains, but now they're excited for you and they're cheering you on. They're like, "Oh, that was awesome! I know him."
And the perv creeper PI,
Yeah.
I know that boy.
I know that boy.
By the way, I fucking hate him, and I want to do so many horrible things to him. But I know that kid.
I know that kid.
So he wins the fucking game. Who cares? But so they're coming back. They're coming back, and they're in the car. And I love this delivery of the stepfather. He's like, "Well, that was remarkable."
That was remarkable.
Awesome, very remarkable. Yes. And it's almost like they had a car ride for about an hour without saying a word. And then he's like, "I'm gonna break the tension
He
here."
finally speaks.
All I got from that scene was Dad was thinking, how many ways can I exploit this child?
Oh my God! Cha-ching! I already got $50,000.
All right,
this is great.
So here's where the kid, the wizard, stacks shit. What does stacking have to do with anything in the movie? What does it have to do with the dinosaurs? What does it have to do with California? What does it have to do with video games?
Stacking has to do with that's how his mind works, and that's why he's good at the video games because it's like this logical.
Stacking has to do with
stacking,
the video games.
Yes, it's how patterns.
The movie
in video
pattern
this kid out to be
recognition.
autistic. The movie played the kid out to be autistic.
They never mention this movie in the movie. We know that they never identify his problem.
Right.
Okay. So they're coming back, and all of a sudden they pass by the dinosaurs, a place that he was trying to go this whole movie to begin with.
Yes.
And they pass by the dinosaurs, starts flipping the fuck out. They pull over. He goes in, and
I'm kicking myself because I a week ago drove past the dinosaurs. Didn't even realize that this was the moment in the movie, and it was like some golf place with some In-N-Out burger.
But
I don't even know.
What'd you say?
I was like, "There's fucking huge dinosaurs!"
I love it. There's huge dinosaurs out in the middle of nowhere.
And so badly, I was like, "Pull over!" But we had a plane to catch and everything. But I'm kicking myself knowing that we went into this movie and I did not pull over and take a picture on the dinosaurs.
Come on, Lisa, we could have had some for the screen caps.
We could have had it.
All right, so they pull over. Jimmy runs into one of the dinosaurs in this special section. He's been carrying this goddamn lunchbox that he's had pictures of his sister and all this. This is where he wants to go to lay her to rest, I suppose.
Yes.
It's a very touching moment.
Fred Savage did point out it was the one place that he remembered his sister being truly happy.
I gotta tell you, and there's no secret to the podcast. And if anybody's listening to this, I mean, flicksanddicks@gmail.com. Yes, Gmail, just flicksanddick@gmail. Yeah, of course I cry at everything. Everybody knows that. So, not everybody, anybody who's listening. So yes, and I started choking up on this scene. This is a very touching moment.
I did get choked up.
So I'm sitting here with my 11-year-old, and I was my 11-year-old self when this movie came out. And he is just as choked up as I was over this movie. And I'm like, yes, he gets it. And he's like, I feel the waterworks coming on. It's happening. Here it comes. And he announced the whole thing, and bam, tears happen.
I love that he's going to be crying at every movie.
Yeah.
He's totally going to be crying at every movie. That's
yeah,
great.
I still cry watching episodes of Cops. So take that for what you will. But
Yeah, I take that for what you will.
I did get choked up, but I didn't get choked up at that point. At that point, I just thought, oh, okay, now we're getting closure. I got choked up when the mom looked at Jimmy when he won the game, because then all of a sudden it was like, okay, mom really does suck, because now she's finally seeing value in her son, and that was when I got choked up, because all I could think was all I could think was, wow, this poor kid has such a shit life ahead of him.
He really does.
Because mom has just now discovered value in her son. Because cha-ching!
He's good at video games.
He's good at something. Good.
My as yet defined autistic child
Mindless entertainment.
has finally brought something to the table.
All right.
That was when I got choked up.
So you know what? The movie ends, and does there scroll the end of it? And do they say let's go home? No, they just end the fucking movie like.
All right, so she is hunted and hired and spent money and did it, and then she's like, "Here, take our son home. Take our sons home."
She said, "Take our son," because it was bringing closure to the whole thing. Because it didn't say it, but it was alluding to the fact that douchebag stepdad was out of the picture. Because
right, she was like, "We're gonna have a talk.
We're gonna have a talk
when
we get home."
Just so you know,
because
this shit
everybody
sucks.
realized at the end, it was like an elongated sitcom, where or comedy / drama or whatever, where the problems of the world are brought about within the first 5 minutes of the show, and then the next 15 minutes of the show is them working through the dangers of life and whatnot, and then you've got your 5 minutes of commercials. And then, this, that, and the other. And then, like, the last 5 minutes or so is bringing resolution to everything, and, all is right in the world, and we can move on.
It doesn't really surprise me. Todd Holland, the director, I mean, he's a television director. He could have easily made this into a made-for-TV, if not a made-for-TV movie, it wouldn't have the star power or the promotional capabilities that Nintendo was looking for.
All this was missing. Oh, I was going to say all this was missing was the drug addiction, drug and or alcohol.
Oh, then we're talking about a Lifetime movie.
But that was addressed. Christian Slater stole Dad's truck, and he's swearing in front of Dad, and he's drinking.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, Lifetime movies. We're going for God. We're going for dirty words.
We're going
for internet pornography.
Okay, God, we were majorly backing it up, but I did have a major problem with the fact that they're in the hotel room, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, and you just don't understand me, nah." And he has a freak out for no reason. Like, it was so no reason at all.
It was out of left field. He starts running outside. You're in your underwear, and then he gets the Nintendo console out of the back
of the truck. No one picked up on the fact that
it just came out, and he has to fix it. Why? Like, is that really promoting Nintendo when you have to...
When you have to fix it?
Fix it? I had a hard time with that.
I'm going to point out two things here. None of you brought up the fact that Beau Bridges went to snuggle with Christian Slater when they were laying in the hotel room.
Uncomfortably close. Yep. Absolutely uncomfortably close.
But then when they were at the scrapyard and they ripped the truck apart and Christian Slater is helping wrench away somehow or other, God only knows. Christian Slater was assisting because he can fix Nintendo, so he can now put trucks back together as well.
Of course.
So he's helping the scrapyard guys put the truck back together. And he goes and he finds Dad, and he turns the game off. Nope. Hang on. Anybody that's ever played Nintendo knows if you pull the plug,
gas.
If you turn off the Nintendo, not even that. That's a whole other story.
There's no save button.
If you pull off, if you turn the power off, it doesn't go to the snow screen. It goes black. It goes black. But anyway,
you'll have to add that to the treasure trove of
the Nintendo gets turned off, and they're packing their shit up, and they're ready to go because Dad all of a sudden, I guess, realizes, oh shit, yeah, we're actually out trying to find missing children. Fundamental flaw here. They left their UHF adapter attached to the television in the scrapyard.
This thing is proprietary to that console, and you do not just leave that fucking thing on the TV and walk away. I mean, there's no way.
And you could buy one. We had to buy several.
So here I went into this watching
Radio
this,
Shack
going,
was a fantastic place.
All right, I'm going to find flaws. It's 1989. There's going to be, like, some major flaws in this. I'm shocked that we had so much to talk about because I loved this movie. I still love this movie. And to watch it with an 11-year-old, who is where I was at this moment, and he loved the movie, and he got choked up at the end, and he was so just invested in this movie, I would recommend it to anybody.
So that's what I was just going to ask you. So Lisa, you're a solid recommend on this, right?
I am a solid recommend.
All right, Mike, how you doing? Are you a recommend or not?
All of the flaws with, I guess it would be the editing, with the announcer saying 15 minutes and counting, or whatever.
There's a ton of flaws.
Yes,
right?
I fear my kids saying
is right
I
there,
can run away with no issue and it's going to be
the same thing we
easy.
are.
I mean, like it promotes running away.
It's a wait. In the '80s, runaways that was a normal trope of movies. I mean,
Right, I'm mad. I'm going to run away.
Everything from the Goonies to the Explorers.
Long and short, yes. I still love this movie. I would recommend this movie.
Beautiful. I mean, it's an absolute solid recommend for me. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up. That was The Wizard, directed by Kevin Holland. And if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email to flicksanddicks@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. And shoot us an email on a movie that you'd like us to talk about. Make sure to check out the other podcasts on YouTube, keyword Flicks and Dicks. Until then, stay cool. This is Travis.
This is Mike.
This is Lisa.
And take it easy.